Hey, this is Ish, and today I want to talk to you about how the practice of meditation can help get rid of body insecurities. So, when a lot of people think about tackling their problems related to their body image and how they feel about themselves, the first thing that they tend to do is to focus on their external appearance by going to the gym and focusing on how they can make their body look better and try to solve the problem from that level. But while this is certainly good to go to the gym and exercise, the problem with this type of approach is that it takes a lot longer. And in addition, once they actually do get the body of their dreams and they work on their problems, they still have feelings of insecurities. So you might have seen people who are in quite good shape, but they're still worried about not being good enough or not being strong enough or more muscular enough, and so on and so forth. And I actually personally noticed this myself in my journey. So years ago, when I was 18 years old, I actually was really into lifting weights, and I was at least 30 pounds heavier than I am now, full of muscle. And even at that point, when I was working out a lot more, I was still very insecure about how I looked physically. So it's also very interesting to note that even though I was doing all these things to work on my body, I still had those insecurities. And I've also noticed this firsthand as a yoga teacher myself, where I'll see that there are a lot of very fit yogis that focus on the asanas and they're constantly going to different yoga classes and they still struggle with these things as well. And on the flip side, I've also gone to many meditation settings where there were a lot of expert meditators, so people who've been doing it for decades, where they weren't in the best shape of their lives, but they felt very secure within themselves and they were very at ease. So why is that? So I'm going to discuss a couple of different factors. So the first is that when you start a practice of meditation, you're learning to quieten your thoughts, and your thoughts are actually responsible for these feelings about insecurity. And when you are meditating, you quieten this area in your brain called the default mode network, which is responsible for rumination and mind wandering and chatter, like internal monologues, shed in a very negative light. So you're actually quietening these areas in your brain which are responsible for these thoughts. So that's why meditation helps. And then the second is that through the practice of meditation, your self-defeating thoughts have a less of a pull or impact against you. So you don't feel the weight of it as much. So you'll actually notice that the more and more you meditate, the less you focus and fixate on these thoughts and the less power they have over you. So this is where you start to develop that way of indifference where you're not really bothered or flustered by different things in your environment. And this could also include your self-image as well. And I think the main point here is that in meditation, in really deep states, you actually forget that you have a body. I know it sounds kind of weird, but let me just walk you through it. So when you're focusing on an piece of object of concentration, such as your breath or a mantra or whatever the case is, you are constantly bringing your focus on that over and over again. And once you bring your attention on it, you become one with that object, and you actually go beyond your mind, your senses, and everything around you, and you actually get to a very profound state where you are, in essence, you forget that you're part of your body and all that, and you go into a different state of being where you're just awareness. So you're just noticing everything around you, but your identity becomes a bit more fluid, so you're not focused just on your body and everything in your physical senses. So it goes beyond that. And obviously that's there within that meditation sitting. And then once you go off your cushion, you might again have those thoughts creep up again. But over time, the more you sit for meditation and you get into this really deep state of being nothingness, so to speak, where you're not really attached to your body, you almost forget about it, then you can see how long term, when you practice more and more, you're less attached to your physical world and reality. So this can also include your body. So this is why you'll notice that in people who've been doing meditation for a while, they just simply aren't concerned with trivial things and also as worried about their body. And this doesn't mean completely neglect your body either. So it's obviously really good to go to the gym and exercise and eat well. I'm not saying that at all. But if you have any insecurities related to that, you'll notice that starting a meditation practice will actually help combat those thoughts much more than actually go to the gym. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. And obviously it's better to do both, so work on the body and meditate as well. But it'll save you a lot more time in the long run if you start meditating rather than expecting to go to the gym to be able to solve all your life problems. So I hope that helps. Thank you.